NFL Week 3, main slate. I got 5 plays for you. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Craig Ben, aka Cash Keg here. We got 5 plays for you here on the NFL Week 3 main slate. Yesterday was actually a better game than I thought it was going to be. When we went 8-3 on our plays, hit our 2-unit play. Yeah, it was overall just a great slate. Better than I expected it to be, just game-wise. Like, they talked about the weather and the wind. But again, usually that disappoints, and it kind of did yesterday. But yeah, it was a pretty good game. Saw the big swings in DFS with that touchdown at the end. You just never know what's going to happen. But hey, if you want access to some of these picks, more picks outside of these 5, I've dropped probably 10 so far in our Discord over in our Patreon. So you can sign up in the link in the Patreon below. If you want to see more videos like this, I'm going to keep trying to knock these things out. I did a full breakdown on Thursday Night Football. I got 5 plays for the main slate. I'm going to come back and do one for the Sunday Night Football and then Monday Night Football as well. But do me a favor, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel. It means a lot, and I'll keep trying to knock these videos out for you, and hopefully it provides you guys some value for picking those plays. So let's just dive right into it and see what we got on tap for today. All right, I got the board pulled up here. Again, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, make sure you run over there and use that promo code DFSArmy and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And like I said, I got 5 plays for you here. We're going to pull them up. We'll talk about each and every one of them. And I'll also show you the tools over at ODDSJAM that I use to kind of pull up and talk about, to find some value in some of these props that we have on the books, but you can use it also for Prizepicks. We'll talk about them as well. And yeah, first up though, we're going to talk about the first play we're going to pull up here is we're going to go Jamar Chase. Now, Cincinnati needs a win, man. They really need a win. And I think they're going to do it on the back of Jamar Chase here. Now, if we look at this 2 games this season, he's put up $129 and 54 reception yards, but the targets have been there. They've always been there. 16 targets that first game. Saw 10 for 16 and then 5 for 9 that second game. They need a win here. And I'm sure he's going to get double-digit targets here. I think he'll get over 100 yards. I'm not scared at all at this Jets team. People have been throwing on him. We saw, what Cleveland did to this Jets team. It's not very good. I think we could see both sides of it because that Cincinnati offensive line is horrible. And that's where he struggles a lot. But if we look at this line right here, he's went over this line in 6 of his last 9 games. We know this is the alpha on the team, and when they're in trouble, he's going to find a way to get him the rock. So I do like taking more than 77.5 reception yards here. And that's the first play we're going to take is Jamar Chase. Second one we're going to look at, we're going to go on the other side of it. Now, this one I was going back and forth with, and it's Joe Flacco. I do wish they had pass attempts more than these other statistics that they do have up here with yards, interception, and fantasy score, because he's going to have to chuck the ball a ton. If we looked at his last 2 games, 307 yards in both of those games, 291 before that. I mean, I can see, again, Cincinnati coming out and, putting up some points on the board, and they're going to have to throw again. His pass attempts have been insane. First game against Baltimore, 59, 44 the second game. And I think we're going to see something similar to this. So I'm going to take more than 234.5 pass yards just because I think they're going to be playing from behind. He's looked pretty good. This could be a sneaky game where there's a lot of points and not a lot of defense played on both sides of it. So I do like taking the more than 234.5 pass yards here. But again, I wish they had completions or attempts, 37 for 59 that first game, 26 for 44 that second game. So might look out the books a little bit and see what the pass attempts are going to be because that's what stood out the most for me. But yeah, man, Joe Flacco's looked pretty good. And I think he's going to continue to chuck the rock here if they are going to have a chance. Before we go into the third one here, let's dive right on over to oddsjam.com, and I can kind of show you where I pulled this play up. All right, I have oddsjam.com pulled up here. Again, you can sign up for a free mailing list. They'll send you plus EV plays every day. You can also sign up for a 7-day free trial if you like as well. And I use this for a lot of things, but in particular, I'm using it a lot for prop stuff. So right here, this ODDSJAM perfect line, this is what we're looking for. And we're going to go and we're trying to find, discrepancies in the line here. There's not a ton because I think this video is being recorded on Friday morning, so it's a little early. But what we're looking for is this line going to find any value? So if we're going around here, Dalvin Cook, the ODDSJAM perfect line has it at minus 121 on the under. As you can see, Cook, Prizepicks and Underdog are really good about moving the line quickly. And so they have it. Prizepicks has it already down to 16.5. A lot of these books are at 18.5 with juice on the under here. So this is something in particular. This is not the play I'm talking about, but this is what I'm talking about. If you're seeing, the line with the juice on the under at 18.5, it's really easy to just come over here and look and say, hey, look, Prizepicks has it already at 16.5. Maybe I should jump on this, or maybe I should stay away completely because the line has moved so much that the value is just not there in it. So that's how you can kind of use this a little bit. But it coming down again, Irv Smith had a big game that last game out. Minnesota's defense is horrendous. But I think they're going to come back and put up some points here against Detroit. But what I'm coming down here is I'm going to come down to Amon-Ra Saint Brown, and we got the minus 117 on the over at 69.5. As you can see, Prizepicks has moved that lineup already to 70.5, and Underdog's even more aggressive, which they tend to be, and they're sitting at 122.5. So at these marks right here, I don't think there's a ton of value what it's spitting out, but I absolutely love him. So we're going to go back and talk about him a little bit, but this is how you use this tool, and we'll go back and I'll talk to you a little bit more, how I look at these statistics and pull these up and show you some of this stuff. But this is what I wanted to just show you, this ODDSJAM perfect line here, and what you're looking for is just the value. Nothing, what I try to find things is over minus 130. Before it's like screaming value, I'm just going to click on it. But if I find anything that's pushing a little bit of value, and I like to play anyways, it's just going to solidify the fact that that's what I'm looking for. So let's dive back over and talk about this play. All right, let's talk about St. Brown here. He's having an awesome season. Been a lot of fun. Here's brother Chicago Bears. We got the wrong St. Brown. I'm sorry, but we do. But yeah, 70.5, 19 fantasy score here. I'm going to take more than this 70.5. I still think it's too low. I think they're going to have to score against Minnesota. That defense has been horrendous. And if we kind of look what he's done, the back half of last season and the start of this season, it's just been unbelievable. We look at his last 5 games, he's won over 4 of those 5. But even if we go back before the Atlanta game, he put up 90, 73, 86. And the targets have just been massive. We go all the way back to that second half where that run came from. 12, 12, 11, 11, 11, 10, 12, 12 targets. So just getting a ton of balls. So he's averaging almost 11 targets a game. I don't think it's going to stop here. I think they're going to have to do it against Minnesota. Minnesota's going to come off a little pissed off about that, game that they had. And, in one of the runs that he did have, the first game he had 86 yards against Minnesota, back last year. And that's what kind of started the run. So I think we could see another close to 100-yard day out of him. Golf and him definitely have a connection, and I think we can continue to see this. So Amon-Ra Saint Brown over or more than 70.5 reception yards. Love this play. All right, next one we're going to talk about here. We're going to go one that's a little funky, but I think that there's some value in this, and it's Kyler Murray. And man, Arizona looks bad right now. They need D-Hop back, but I'm going to look at taking more than 25.5 rush yards. Little Mighty Mouse back there, he definitely gets out and runs, and we did have James Conner, who was limited in practice yesterday. I have to see what the injury report comes out today after practice, but it could hold him back a little bit. But just kind of seeing, what he has done, he's done really well. He's faced these Rams last year 3 times, 39-61, and he had 6. But the attempts are going to be there. And I think that as long as that pass rush gets there, he'll scramble, and he has no problem tucking the ball and running. The rush attempts are going to be there as well. We saw, just his rush attempts alone, 5-5 the first 2 games against KC and Vegas. And, Vegas doesn't have the best pass rush in the world. So I just think we got the line that's juiced around -115, -120 in some places. I just like this line. It's like, he can get this on one play. So you have to love it. I mean, even that KC game where he ran for 29, he got, one play was 21 yards where he got it. So I do like this. We're going to take more 25.5 rushing yards. And then the last one we like is probably one of my favorites. A lot of people might not go here, but we're going to go Michael Pittman, and I'm going to go more than 61.5 reception yards, man. And they need this win in Indy, and it's not a great matchup. Going up against KC, they're probably going to be behind. He sat out last week, but week 1, you can definitely tell that Matt Ryan was leaning on him because they just don't have a lot. He had 121, reception yards there on 9 of 13 targets, played almost 100% of the snaps, 98% of the snaps. And they're probably going to be playing from behind here. I know there's a lot of money coming on, public money coming on KC here. Indy definitely needs this. They'll probably try to slow it down a little bit, but this KC offense can put up some points. And if they get ahead, Pittman's going to be targeted often, early and often. And he's trending that is going to play this game. So I do like this. I think this line's going to move a lot. I think it'll get up close to 68 to 70. I'm comfortable playing this line up to 68, 69. So if it does move up to that point, that's where I'm kind of looking at it. So that is the final play that I do love. So if we had to look at these, those are the 5 plays that we do have. Jamar Chase, more than 77.5 reception yards. Joe Flacco, more than 234.5 pass yards. Amon-Ra Saint Brown, over 70.5 reception yards. Kyler Murray, over 25.5. And Pittman, more than 61.5 reception yards. And I would rank these opposite. I'd go Pittman. I would go St. Brown, number 2. Murray, number 3. And then I would go Jamar Chase, number 4, and Flacco, number 5. I know some people ask me to rank them. That's kind of how I would rank them. But like them all the same, I mix and match these 2-man power plays here. So hopefully that helps out. Again, if you want more plays, I've dropped more plays other than these in our Discord and our Patreon. So again, you can sign up there below. If you don't have an account, use that code DFSArmy and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. I will see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.